Perfect.
What the hell is Sauce Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. I am your host this evening, Ed Honcho. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is the freshest flavor in H-Town sports, a Houston Homer network, where we talk all sports, but only Houston. This is primarily the Texans conversation. This is where we talk Texans. This is where we discuss what's going on with the Houston Texans, things that are going on with the players on the Houston Texans. So make sure you subscribe. I like to think the #1 Houston Texans channel on YouTube. I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of other great channels. I just feel like, hey, #1. A couple of things to discuss, right? And shout out to Houston Texans Talk. Appreciate the super saucy super chat love. Thank you, sir. A lot to discuss. We're gonna have a call-in day, man. We hadn't a call-in day in a while. And you know that's what makes the sauce. Like I said, I've been working with some stuff, and I've been kind of off and on with it. I really got to figure out this thing, and if I get it right the way I plan it, I'm telling you, it's gonna be great. But we're gonna have a call-in day, so I'm only gonna waste your time for a little bit, maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes. And we'll take some calls. We'll have the 5-minute rule in effect. Sauce Nation, I just want to say thank you guys for being a part of the sauce, being a fresh ingredient, and you know, I just appreciate each and every one of you and all the support that, you know, you guys have shown to the sauce along the way. Shout out to the round table. It's time to get it in, man. The goal is to really ramp it up with some things. So just stay tuned. Make sure you got that notification button filled. But let's talk about Bill O'Brien, right? Or actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. See, take a day off, sauce, you fuck up. Y'all know what it is. We need a Sauce Nation roll call. Shout out your side with pride. If you're from the greater Houston area, shout out your side, shout out your hood, however you identify, however you get down. If you want to rep your family, your military rank, your cul-de-sac, your avenue, your block, your boulevard, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, however you get down, your school, you know, your college, your university, whatever, right? So shout that out. Even if you're not from the greater Houston area, hey, it's all love. We'll send some digital love your way. Make sure, you know, you just drop it in the chat and, like I said, get some shout outs. You know, like I said, I really want to bring back a lot of the things that made Sauce great. So make sure, you know, hey, sometimes players forget, and we always got to make sure we get that roll call in. Okay, East Side, North Shore in the building, Katie in the building. Look, that's beef right there. Y'all right. See, look, that's back to back. I read North Shore, then Katie. That's beef. We got Plex in the chat already. Man, ain't even done nothing. Baytown in the building. Man, I saw Brown in Baytown. Ooh, the side's getting down. Terrible, terrible, terrible. SWAT. Okay, SWAT in the motherfucking building. Austin, Texas in the motherfucking building. Already. Rosharon already, man. Louisiana, the boot in the building already. Fifth Ward, Ike's home already. 335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Spring Branch in the building already. Greens Point already. North Side in the building. Shout out to the North. The Slum in the building. Y'all don't want nothing with the Slum, man. Okay, got some more North Shore in the building. South Park already. Virginia in the building already. Galveston in the building already. Shout out to Galveston, man. G-Town in the building. Concord in the building already. You get Romeo Cornell in the background. Oh, I might still have that other thing up. Let me see what's happening. Hold on. I don't know. Oh, you talking about Cronell? I'm looking at the thing like I still had the. I was looking at the interview. I was like, was Cronell even talking? But I watched that interview, right? Then you talking about the bird. Yes, the bird is the bird. The bird is the word. Denver Harbor already. Grand Island, Nebraska already. Look, you know, Cornell, he got to get warmed up, man. You know, it might be a lot of crow this season. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Okay, SA in the building already. San Antonio in the building with all the churros and them big old women. You know, hey, ain't nothing wrong with a big old woman from Saytown. Already, man. Please hit that like button. Be greatly appreciated. Let's talk about it though. Let's kind of get into it. And shout out to all the members. Again, you know, it's just a little bit of special love. I see y'all out there with special badges and, you know, those exclusive sauce emojis. If you want to consider becoming a member, hit that join button, man. Hit the join button, hit the super chat thing, I think, and then you hit the join button, it pops up, or you go to the main sauce page, you can join. I think that's pretty cool. Still got to get some other emojis done. But let's talk about Bill O'Brien, right? I'm conflicted, okay? So I watch and appreciate the love, Professor Tripp. I watched the little conversation that he had right before the stream, maybe about 5 minutes before the stream, and then it started kind of get a little bit into the Michael Thomas interview, and I didn't get a chance to get that. But from the snippet that I did see of Michael Thomas, you know, I believe in certain things being fuel, right? And he was talking about some of the tragedies that he was going through the last few years with his family, and him not necessarily being able to just be a part of it, being up in New York, and now being back home, how he thinks that, you know, that can help, you know, heal. Tragedy motivates people, so you know he may be interesting to watch, man, just to watch. Swamp Rat Land. Let's see. So let me see. Victoria, Texas, already. So here's my thing, right? So I watched the Bill O'Brien statement, and I'm conflicted. You know. Not so much in the sauce, but if you watch The Den, you know, I try to remain somewhat neutral as I can. I definitely have my opinions, but I try to remain as neutral as I can for the most part, right? So I tried to approach this. Morgan, they appreciate the love. Down with the cause, but not baby mamas. Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. We got many layers to peel back on this interesting onion, right? So, Miller comes out and makes a statement, powerful statement. It's Billy, like you said, Billy X, right? Exactly. He's going, you know, it used to be Billy O, now it's Billy X. Ain't that a bitch? X's and O's. Appreciate the love, Morgan A, man. Super sauce, super chat love. But Bill O'Brien, the guy who has been vilified, I mean, since free agency began, you know, just for the last couple of years, actually. I mean, I think depending on what Texans fans you ask, some are going to root for him, some are going to say, yeah, some are say, man, get him the fuck up out of here, we want something new. You hear a lot of that on the sauce, I'm not going to lie, and I probably expect to hear a couple of those phone calls later, either way. But my thing about it is, it's difficult. There's a few things that were going on that I have to admit, you know, made me question some stuff. Right. For one of them is, as much as I tried to be unbiased, I did have little bits. I did notice there were certain statements I was biased, and I have to separate the man from the coach / GM. And I know I let it be a thing again because I don't like Billy O, the head coach of the Houston Texans. And so I would notice every time his eyes would kind of look to the side, you could tell he had kind of like a little script, but with a statement that long. And you want to make sure you get it right, especially in times like these. You slip up when you're talking about racial issues, it's going to be a problem, right? And we know Billy O has flew off at the mouth before. So I give him a pass for that. I'm expecting him to go out there and just memorize a speech, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know. The cynical citizen in me says, perfect timing, great PR move. What a way we can clean up our name from some of the stains that have been attached to that PR person. One hell of a writer. Shout out to Houston Texans. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm like, you're like, what's going on? It's just like there's a couple of things he said. He made like a little statement about something, and it was just kind of like when you kind of know that. Something you said around about the day off or whatever with the social media stuff. But again, hey man, look, I've heard things from Billy O before. He's openly said some things prior to, so I'm not going to necessarily fault him and just discredit the man. Maybe he said, hey, PR guy, I don't got time. I got a lot of hats on. Y'all remember that book in elementary, Caps for Sale? Y'all remember that? I remember you heard it here first. Like this is some fucking exclusive. Caps for Sale, right? Shout out to Ray. Shout out to D Rich, aka Texas Palace. If you ain't following Texas Palace on the gram, then you're not a real Texans fan. Yeah. You call yourself a real Texans fan? You're not following Texas Palace on the gram. What kind of fan are you? Shout out to Wick. What's the motherfucking deal? But it's like maybe he said, "Hey, PR guy, just write me up something good." This is kind of the statement I want to make, and maybe it got tweaked from. Do I really feel like Billy O crafted all of that himself? He's a smart guy. He's not an idiot. I'm sure he's got a lot of book smarts, and he possibly could have, but who knows, right? Maybe he has been sitting around and having his time to himself to really think about some things. But here's the thing: I wonder if anybody else thought that I did think about this, because he talked about not charismatic, empathy and leadership, and it was interesting because when I did Texans Unfiltered with young Eric Gold, we talked about leadership and Bill O'Brien, and the thing about that is, like, he named presidential leaders. He named Bush and he named Obama, right? So it shows both sides of the aisle. So it's not a political lean either way, this way or that way. It wasn't like you said Clinton and Obama or Bush and Bush or whatever. And so you wonder, well, we got a president now who's got a lot of stuff going on. Is that a slight dig at Trump? Is that him saying that he doesn't think Trump is doing good leadership, is showing good leadership, because he didn't say anything about him, right? So it's very interesting, in my opinion. Like, I feel like there was a Trump slight, right? And if y'all hear this anywhere else, I don't be listening to anything else, y'all let me know. But I feel like there was a Billy O. Trump slight, right? And because he said he named Obama and Bush multiple times, more than once. And when he talked about, leadership and all of these things, he talked about himself being a leader and all this other stuff. So that's something I caught, and I was just like, "Hey, ¿qué pasa, amigo? What's going on there? What's happening right there? Something strange is happening." But again, I could be just looking into, like, combing too deeply into it, just for the sake that it's Bill O'Brien, right? We'll see about that, buddy. All lives matter. Trill. You're not going to regulate around here. You know what kind of party this is, amigo. You think you're just going to get in here and bully stuff? I don't think so. You better watch yourself. I know how you Port Nature's guys get down. But but all bullshit to the side, right? Did Bill do something by stepping out? Because he didn't have to say anything. There's a lot of motherfuckers. I don't think there's too many motherfuckers who've said too much of anything, right? Bill at this point. Flores has said something. I think I've seen some teams as a franchise or an organization make statements, but as far as the coaches themselves, there hasn't been too many. These are the guys that deal directly with the players, and the majority of which in the NFL are black. So, is it up to the coach? Should the coaches be speaking out? Did Billy O have to do it? Could he stay silent? I know a lot of people say silence is complicit, or whatever you want to call it, however you get down. I don't think everybody has to speak out. It was something we were talking about yesterday on Soft Sports TV with Hector, that I don't think every athlete has to speak out. Like, you can be doing things behind the scenes, because, again, you don't know what it's like. Like, even like Billy O, right? And as I'm thinking about it, I'm giving him credit. Because this man is hated in this city, despised. I think that we could equally, that's a new word, let's write that down, equally feel like Bill O'Brien is not well liked, right? I think we all think that there's an issue with him. No matter what you believe, I don't think it matters your politics. I don't think it matters your beliefs religiously. It don't matter your age. Like, I think that's the one thing that transcends everything around these parts. Bill O'Brien is not the most well-liked guy immediately after the Hopkins trade. I think a lot of people kind of come back to the bandwagon or wherever they are. But he went out and he did say some things, and he made some statements, and he used certain words and terminology that, depending on what you're looking at, depending on who you're looking at, there are particular groups, subgroups, I would say, within this conversation that would get offended by the things that he said. And a lot of those would probably be Texans fans. I think if we're talking about the demographic of Texans fans, I think there would be, I wouldn't say the majority, that's not what I'm saying, but I think there would be a significant number of Texan fans who would take offense to him saying it. Like the same if you get offended by Black Lives Matter or whatever it may be. And again, this is coming from a person, if y'all know me and my thoughts on Black Lives Matter, we'll talk about that in the day. We'll probably be discussing that partly tonight. It's like people should be able to express themselves however they want to, right? And I guess I have to look at it and say that I commend him because he didn't have to say anything. Do I think it was the most well-delivered speech? No, it's just not, MLK. It's nothing like that. But do I genuinely believe he feels the way he feels? To an extent. To an extent. So I can't fault him. That I will not do. I will not fault him and say, "Oh, shut the fuck up, Billy O. You just shut the fuck up. You're just pandering." Because he didn't have to. Again, like I said, in a situation where we can have all our thoughts, we can have all these discussions. We're talking about a league where you have a Rooney Rule, where you're having more discussions about doing some extra bullshit that is unnecessary. But in the league itself, their eyes, they're saying, "Oh, we need this because we know that there are issues." But yet this happens. Not many people speak out, right? Who was a fan? Didn't get well received. And we can talk about Drew Brees, right? So a lot going on. I'm going to shut the fuck up, right? O'Brien needed to unite the team in the city for himself. Yeah, I mean, he might be out there making power play. We might have just got caught up in an O'Brien power play, right? And we don't even know it. O'Brien may have just hit us with the okie doke. But here's my deal. I ain't mad at him for it. I give him an E for effort because he didn't have to say anything, right? He just could have shut the fuck up like he shut the fuck up about a lot of other shit that we felt he should have spoke on. So, and I think he delivered a direct statement, not something vague and kind of questionable. And he made a statement with intention. So I'm not gonna fault it for it. I'm not mad at him for that. But what does it change really? If Bill O'Brien is a person you don't like and he's delivering a message, you don't want to hear as many. You don't know what the fuck Bill O'Brien's talking about. But anyway, here's my deal. Right? Here's my deal. Let us see. I mean, that's interesting too. Let's talk about Deshaun too. We saw him out there yesterday. I know some people had shared some pictures of that. Shout out to South Sports Discord. Some people that shared some pictures of that. I think there were some other players out there. Just very interesting things going on. And I noticed an interesting conversation between some ex-Texans. It didn't have really anything to do with football or anything. Maybe talking about old buddy, that Virgil guy, right? Let's see if he should true himself to the film. I was going to say, I don't know. I don't know if he will, but we'll see what's happening. I think he kind of has. I think he put a spotlight on himself. If you made the statement, you're talking about how much you're concerned, how much you're reading and learning and doing all of this, I think, yeah, you kind of got to be there. You know what I'm saying? See Joe Green and Andre was out there? Okay. Jacob Martin was out there? Already. I don't know what the fuck Jacob Martin looks like. If Jacob Martin walked up to me on the streets of downtown Houston, said, "What's up, Honcho?" I would have no idea what the fuck he was. Right? And I'm sure he has no idea what the fuck I am, right? So it is what it is. But I'm just saying, so I guess I wouldn't know if he was in a crowd of 60,000 people. Shout out to the black cowboys that came on the horses. That was alive and shit. That's H-Town right there. That's what I'm saying. That's H-Town culture right there. Like, we talk about the Texans not embracing H-Town culture. That was Houston, right? You pull up to a protest on a fucking horse, right? So, on some equestrian shit, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's H-Town, baby. So, let's, give me just a second. Let's get the lines open, man. Let's take some calls. I done forgot. It's been so long, man, since we've opened the line. I done forgot the sauce line number, y'all. Ain't that a bitch? Now ask yourself. We were just jamming that in the sauce Discord. That was a very real song. While I'm getting this together, I hope all y'all are doing well. I hope everybody in the sauce is doing extremely fine. Appreciate the love. Houston, Texas Talk. Thank you, sir. I just want to let all you great, wonderful, amazing people know that Honcho cares. If don't nobody else care. All right. Let me stop with the nonsense. Yeah. That's what I want right there. Let me hit this button. I really have. That's the fucking sauce line. That's terrible. I'm a terrible person. There we go. Let's get some calls in, man. We got the 5-minute rule going. Let's take some calls, man. I want to know today when we take the calls. This is what I want to know. From hearing what Bill O'Brien said today, did it change your opinion of him in any way, or are you looking at him as, compartmentalizing the different Bill O'Briens? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the sauce line? I almost said the fucking damn. The sauce line this evening.
Honcho, it's Real Talk.
Real talk. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, sir? How are you feeling about the Bill O'Brien interview?
First I wanted to say this.
Oh,
Hang up on me like you do at the end.
wait. Okay, wait. Well, see, I've done something far worse than hang up on you. Your sound is not even showing up. Give me just a second. Hold on. What's the fucking deal here? All right, now we live. We good. I got you, baby. I can't do it 3 times in a row. All right.
Am I good now? Am I good?
Yeah, you good. We live.
All right. So, I don't know how to take the Bill O'Brien speech/interview because he was technically talking to someone during the time. Because the NFL put out their own tweet saying that they wanted to use their platform to help elevate everyone's voice now. And now all of a sudden, why am I echoing? Nice. All right. There we go. I fixed it on my end. So now all of a sudden we got players showing up to protest. You got Bill O'Brien doing this. But no one's talking about the head coach that put a tweet out before the NFL even did their recognizing tweet.
That's too much sauce.
No one's talking about the Miami Dolphins head coach who put out a tweet and put Miami Dolphins head coach on the tweet. Like, he made it official that I am putting this out as this. So, dude, so if you're going to ask me how do I feel about Bill O'Brien making it, yay, thanks, good, great.
Got Houston on my back.
Because everything else about you doesn't say anything that you said in that speech. Every other player who's had an issue with you says the exact opposite of what you said in that speech.
It's like the feeling you get. You're like, come on, it seems different between the interactions between you and the players, as opposed to what you're saying. And even with the Texans organization having allegations of racism, I'm not going to levy those on Billy O, but there were accusations being made in years prior. So you kind of wonder, really, is it 100% genuine?
Well, I mean, to take a statement, he said that he had sit-down talks with Kenny Stills about why he kneels and everything else. He made it seem like him and Kenny Stills actually had a relationship. I mean, did you not get that feeling about the way he was talking about Kenny Stills and the way he talked to him?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really interesting that you brought it up like that. I didn't, and it makes me think about the, you know what I'm saying?
The non-relationship with Hopkins?
Yeah. So it's like, wow. So what is that all about? What is that? And Hopkins is a guy who's been very vocal about a lot of issues, even during his tenure with the Texans. So I mean, that's odd to me, but it is what it is. Yeah, you also did bring up Eric Reed. Shout out to you, Texas Talk. Yeah, I thought that too was interesting.
What? I can't see the chat right now.
No, that Bill O'Brien brought up Eric Reed.
Oh, Eric Reed. Well, it's funny he brings up Eric Reed and not Ed Reed.
Let's not talk about Ed Reed. I don't think any Texans want to talk about it. Texas fans want to talk about Ed Reed. Hold on, we might be bouncing back. Are we in it to win it? I don't know. I guess not. Maybe not. You don't want to act right? Can we be friends? Can we cooperate? And even a little bit.
Am I good?
Cooperate. No, it's. I mean, you're good. It's for some. It's the streaming. It's dropping like a bunch of frames. I'm not.
Nice.
I'm
YouTube's being fucked up again.
This is a terrible day.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, don't you find it really odd that the NFL does that tweet? A tweet they've never said, they've never bat a protest before.
Yes.
They even went so far to saying that they should be separate from politics.
Yeah.
That sports and politics should be separate. Then the NFL posts that tweet. Then the next thing you know, you're seeing pictures of Deshaun, Andre Johnson, other players at the protest. Am I saying the NFL pushed them into that? No, I'm not. But could I see the NFL pushing the coaches to do what Bill O'Brien did? Hell yes.
Okay. That's actually I wouldn't be surprised. Like I say, right now that's what everybody's doing. All the NFL is a business, and a lot of these other businesses are, putting out their statements or trying to find ways to show some form of solidarity. I don't trust any of it because I really look back to, especially it's funny because this is June now. last year around June, Pride Month thing, and every business was turning gay. I almost feel like it's the same thing. It's the cool hip thing to do, to be a part of. Let's go ahead and say, let's put out a statement. Let's do but do you genuinely feel, or do you genuinely support whatever cause you're putting out there? Now my thing is, I don't think anybody has to support it. If you don't want to, don't do it. But if you do genuinely support, you put in a statement like, how are you really following through? And so I think that's kind of what I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other head coaches start popping up saying stuff, and it is kind of an NFL back thing.
I mean, because have you ever seen because if you think about it, the only coach that said anything about the protest before the NFL was the Miami coach.
Correct.
Then the NFL backs it, and now not all coaches are doing what Bill O'Brien did, but you have seen some coaches kind of like retweet and like and do this and that. Like all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden?
Well, I say, I mean, I feel like it's a way to get good press. I mean, everything, all the flack. I forgot who said it, but you always hear that statement: "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And this is a good crisis for everybody who wants to capitalize, get good PR, especially when you see people talking about, remember who didn't say anything about it, remember who didn't choose. I'm not saying that Bill O'Brien was influenced by any of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if like the NFL or some of these, bigger corporations were. Because that's what businesses do now. In this age in social media, like where now that you've given businesses a direct voice to the customer, the customer wants to know that voice is saying the shit they want to hear. And so right now, I guess that's what they're doing, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be interesting because I think, it brings you up the question about, cap and some other stuff, regardless of how you may or may not feel about it. What coach was it who said, he's like, yeah, the cap thing he felt was a blackball because he's like, come on, we fucking picked up Mike Lennon. Like, come on. So, yeah,
let me jump off here so someone else can jump on here.
Well, Mr. Real Talk, I appreciate the call, sir, getting the party started, stirring up the sauce. Thank you for calling. You have a good evening, sir.
You too.
All right. This might be a very bad call, y'all. I can't help it. What happens after this? What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the sauce line this evening? Hola, ¿cómo está? Hello. All right. I don't know what to say about that. Well, I said it was going to be a bad call, and I guess it was a no call. All right. So, again, it's like here's what we're talking. For those who may be getting in later, who may have missed out on some things, we're discussing whether what Bill O'Brien said changed your opinion on whether or not he is genuine or how you feel about him. I mean, just as a head coach, it doesn't alter his play calling. He's not playing. It doesn't alter his coaching. It doesn't alter his talent evaluation to have these feelings. So it's just kind of a situation where, do you look at the man, the individual, the person, Bill O'Brien, apart from Bill O'Brien, the job title head coach, the job title general manager? So do we have to be kind of bigger people and think on a higher level? Say, okay, well, hey, look, let's separate these things. It's not all just love, fuck Bill O'Brien. Do we separate these things? Is he what do the kids call it today? Woke? Is Bill O'Brien woke, folks? I need to know. If y'all on the line, I don't know what's up. You may have to hang up and call back, because I know some people said they were on hold, but I don't see any calls coming through. Just in case, just letting you know. You might skip you ahead in line if you actually do that. You might be waiting behind somebody, might be bullshitting, catch them lacking. You might jump in front of them. That's all I'm saying, player. I done gave you the game. It's up to you to run with it, baby. But my thoughts are, again, like I say, it's like, regardless to outside opinion and what others may have you believe, you don't hate Bill O'Brien, right? Just don't think he's got enough. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the sauce line this evening?
And look, the hell with Bill O'Brien and the hell with his football team. Where the hell were you last night in the game?
So you called into the sauce to talk about the den.
No, not exactly. See, I was worried about you, Honcho. I thought you got looted or something like that. I had to make sure you was all right.
Yeah. No, it's not that. I can think probably 100,000 other things that would happen. That's not going to be the case. So no worries about getting looted. But no, it's all good.
That's it. Yeah, but all right. So as far as Bill O'Brien, look, man. To be honest with you, I really think Bill O'Brien was hated before he traded DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, not too many people had a lot of faith in him. A lot of the people that read what was going on in the Houston Texans organization. So you heard about the Timmy Jernigan news about apparently he didn't follow through.
About what happened now with Timmy Jernigan?
Timmy Jernigan, the defensive lineman.
Yes, the defensive lineman.
They said I didn't follow through. What happened?
I don't know. I saw somebody say something, maybe probably a failed physical or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. Morgan, I appreciate the love. Tell me to shout out earlier. The spirit is woke, but the brain is dead. But D-Love, do you think Bill O'Brien is woke?
It's too much sauce.
You talking about with the rioting and stuff like that?
What? I mean, yeah, with the rioting and stuff. Is
I didn't hear. I didn't even hear what you said. Like I don't know what you said.
Here's okay. Well, if you didn't hear, well, it might be a little bit difficult. But in your opinion, from what you know about him, is Bill O'Brien invited to the cookout?
Nope.
Why not?
Like I said, I don't know what you said about that, huh?
Okay. Well, you got to check it out. And
you traded your cousin. Why would he be invited to the cookout?
What did you say about my cousin?
I said you shipped your cousin out of Houston. He sent him to Arizona. Why would he be invited to the cookout?
Look, D-Love, in the midst of everything that's going on in the world right now, especially in the U.S., the fact that you made the statement that you just made is very deeply offensive to me. What are you saying? Are you saying that all black men look alike? And don't be afraid to address this issue. We need to address this, right here, right now. Don't back away. Don't be a coward. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that all black men look alike?
Not exactly.
So why did you just make the statement that you just made?
Are you really offended by that?
Yeah, I'm deeply offended. I'm very offended, actually. I mean, like I say, with everything that's going on right now, why would you think it's okay to make a statement like that?
I was messing around. I didn't think it would be an end to.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering about you right now, D-Love. We've had some controversy in the past. We know that you like to tell on people in the Den Discord, but for you to say that statement, to know that you are deep down inside your heart a racist.
I'm a racist?
Yeah, against your own people, nonetheless. I'm disgusted, D-Love.
It's too much sauce.
That is not good. Because like all the other people that snitched in the Discord, they wasn't held accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I answer the snitch.
I mean,
you just argue like. I just wanted to call in and talk about Bill O'Brien and all that. It's really all I have to think about. So I'm just letting some of those things.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your call, D-Love, nonetheless. Even though you said what you said. But you might want to take some time really to reflect on what you just said, man, and think about how that impacts the people you say those kind of comments to, man. You should really be ashamed of yourself.
Gotcha.
All right, I appreciate that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling in to the sauce line. It's the Today officially. I meant to say it. This is officially the Real Talk sauce. The Real Talk is showing so much love lately, man. And we hadn't been having sauce lines, so shout out to the who's calling to the Real Talk sauce line, man.
What up? It's Mel, and if this is the Real Talk
Lion, I'm about to hang the fuck up.
Wow. Oh, I can't believe it. Ask me, what's on your mind, man?
I really wasn't gonna dial in, Wink, but yeah, bro. Sorry, I guess I just had to get in line. But my thoughts on the Bill O'Brien, hell of a PR move. Very timed move for him. I think about the fact that Tim Jernigan, for some reason, odd, strange reason, his doctor clears him. The Texan organization people don't bring him in to even test him physically. The dude is running up hills, so obviously the dude is ready to play. I don't know what happened. Bill O'Brien changed his mind. All of a sudden, you restructure Fulton's contract. So now there's rumors out there that you might be going to get somebody that you've released before. Then all of a sudden, you make this move because you get sniffed that Kenny Stills the day before, when it was announced that the march was going to happen in Houston, had posted that he was going to be there. He was the only player from the Houston Texans that posted that. He was actually the only player from the Houston Texans who you don't have a picture of being at the protest. All of a sudden, Deshaun Watson is there, Jacob Martin is there, Peter Colombayi is there, Andre Johnson is there. It's reported heavily on those 4 players. Shout out to Gerald Green, though. Gerald Green, ex-Rockets, he was out there. Shout out to him. But, yeah, man, at first I really thought he was coming off sincere because I just heard it through the radio wave, right? I didn't really see the video at first. Then I get sniffed that the video came out of his little Zoom meeting, and I'm looking at him staring, his eyes going fucking cockeyed because his glasses have glare and shit. And he's looking at the screen, reading the script. And look, there was moments where you could tell like it was his words, but then there was moments where I knew like it was structured in a certain way that O'Brien would not structure things. Correct. Because that's just the type of man he is. When you listen to him, he gets easily frustrated. He's never showed this type of empathy. And with his track record, look, at the end of the day, it's about action. If this is the stance that you're going to take as the head coach of the Houston Texans, and he goes out to mention Eric Reed, after Eric Reed actually said blackballed when the Houston Texans posted a Blackout Tuesday that they were listening, he retweeted saying blackballed, right? His brother obviously has tried to get him here. So I don't know what's going on there, right? Because it doesn't seem like Eric Reed wants to be here. It seems like Justin Reed is the one who wants him to be here more than anything. And so we don't know if O'Brien, by saying Eric Reed, he's trying to pacify that in some way and maybe solve a relationship between him and Justin Reed so that doesn't go sour, or he truly wants to bring in Eric Reed. At the end of the day, though, you got to address somebody at the D-line, right? So you got to do that. But, yeah, man, I mean, actions are going to speak louder than words. So what he, like you said he did, is he put the spotlight on himself. Now, if people were already looking at him and what he was going to do this year with the Texans, especially because they came out and said, oh, we're going to give Deshaun Watson the reins and he's going to be cooking in the lab and we're going to see what he wants to do and we're going to honor it. Bullshit, I doubt it. Shit. I mean, why haven't they done it before? Like, that's dumb as shit. The only time we ever saw it was 2 or 3 plays, and the one time that they did it with New England, O'Brien was at the fucking podium talking about, oh, they told you that they made that play up, huh? And then he just like, yeah. He kind of was like upset that they were getting credit about a play that they made up. So is Bill O'Brien really, truly going to let Deshaun Watson run whatever he wants to run out there? Doubt it. I doubt that Tim Kelly is going to play call all year. Early on, I don't see Tim Kelly being over this offense. Depending on the record, it'll depend on what O'Brien allows Tim Kelly to do. I'm sure that they'll allow plays here and there about it. But ultimately, man, he needs to back up his words with action. Mm-hmm. If you really don't like the stance that he took, if nobody knows O'Brien, like if I didn't know O'Brien and I just heard his I just heard his Zoom meeting, then I would be like, man, that's one hell of a coach. That's one coach I would want to play for, which is what happened with this Thomas guy, right? The Thomas was actually scheduled to have that press conference with the media, and O'Brien. See, that's kind of the thing that I also found funny. I'm not sure if they played it in the Zoom meeting, but early in the radio interview that they were playing,
He comes in and he says, "Hey guys, I know this is a scheduled interview for Thomas, but I just have a couple of things to say." And I'm like, man, what? But it was funny though because he was making it seem like he interrupted Thomas's interview, but the radio people were saying, "Yo, we're about to hear from Bill O'Brien." So the radio people knew you were going to come on, but you were making it seem like it was a big surprise. That already, to me, was throwing up red flags. But anyways, man, to people and players that don't know Bill O'Brien, when they hear something like that, that sparks a fire to want to play for him. This could definitely be a power move for him to bring in a couple of more players with all the cap he has now, with not the Jernigan signing, with the restructure of Fulton's contract. You could definitely bring in one or two players that you need on defense, and we'll see how it goes, man. But ultimately, you cannot make that type of statement and during the season now back it up, especially with Deshaun Watson. It seems like all they're doing now is trying to please Deshaun Watson, and he knows that he's walking on eggshells with Deshaun Watson because he's traded his best friend. So now let's see how it goes through the season, because Deshaun Watson, to me, has the ability to really take control and reins of this team, but it's about how he does it, if he does it smartly. If he does it smartly, he'll have Bill O'Brien in the palm of his hand. If he doesn't, then we're either going to see one or two leave this organization, and that's just the reality, and that's my spiel. H-Town, baby. You said number one show in the universe is Saw Sports. I want to say Houston Texans Talk is number two, if that's the case, and that's my spiel, baby. H-Town.
Already shout out to Houston Texans Talk, man. Appreciate the love, baby. Shout out to Morgan A., Joseph Lopez, Roger Sherrod, Black Eighth Element, and Marquise Newhouse. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Appreciate all the super saucy, super chat love, y'all. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den? Or that fucking den. That's why they hung up on me because I said the den. I done fucked up. I'm so used to saying shit. I'm talking crazy tonight. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the sauce line this evening? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yes, who we got calling into the sauce line this evening?
Man, you already know who it is, man.
Wink. Is it Sir Winkington? Winkipedia, if you will. Your thoughts, sir, on Bill O'Brien and what he said. Does it change your opinion of him at all?
Absolutely not, because it didn't change my opinion of him whatsoever, because his job has proven and his credit is still in poor standing. He showed a human side of him where he can feel some empathy and compassion, but when you see the video and you see his eyes weaving back and forth, you wonder, was it genuine or not? But I'm not going to delve off into that, because his intention can't really be measured from a video, even though I can understand how it could look skeptical in some people's eyes. Now, as far as I look at it from a couple of angles, and I was talking to some guys in the Discord about this shit earlier. Now, it's injustices have been going on since he's been here. Now, I can understand that George Floyd hits home because he's a Houston product, and he was in good standing. A lot of people in the city know him, and he went to the yard, my high school. He did good things while he was there. Now, while the loss of human life should always be the main topic, people have been losing their lives that look exactly like the players that he has on his football team for years now. And it's quite odd to me that because he has an order of protection and that he has to be sheltered, him and his family, around the city, just so people don't take advantage of, a weakness. It's quite odd that now all of a sudden he has empathy, when just a couple of months ago, even when you look at the situation, and I'm going to speak at these in separate directions, it's funny now because of everything that it's quite convenient for him to speak up about injustice and this and that now, and now he wants to have conversation with players and this and that now, to lighten his load, so to speak, as far as how he's viewed in the city of Houston. And if he's a good pick, you see, people are already playing into that. Oh, well, he's a good human being over this and that, and oh, at least he's saying he's one of the few coaches who has said anything. It's real unfortunate in some incidences, and I'm not saying Bill O'Brien did this. I'm not even coming at him in the wrong way. I'm just saying how I could see it from my own set of eyes, and I find it unfortunate in a sense that with all the atrocities that have been going on with black men, now all of a sudden now he's speaking up for black issues. We can't have it too going. I know some people are gonna say, "Oh man, give the man a break," and this and that. Those are typical responses, and to be honest, I respect it because at the end of the day, it's a bigger issue, and this man's life was lost. But when it comes to Bill O'Brien, it's while I do commend him and I don't vilify him for speaking up, because he did something that a lot of his other counterparts haven't done, hence what Drew Brees is going into, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But the optics prove that the way that this man handles situations, as far as what he said, his words hold no merit, at least not to me. And the reason why is because of the way he goes about things. If your actions constantly prove certain things over and over, and if you show that you can get emotional about the smallest of things, and you think with your heart over your mind, then when it comes to leading men, how can you possibly do that when you don't even have the ability to calm down and rectify the issue? You can't even come to the table, and the way you allowed DeAndre Hopkins to leave, and you disparage this man's family, and you talk about the mother of his children and call and refer to him as baby mamas, and all these negative terms that they'll really use towards black men anyway. Let's be even more frank. Not that Latin people and other people, I'm sure some white people use that term, but let's not act like who is solely directed towards, and it's towards black men and black women specifically. And that isn't even been resolved, but somehow he's supposed to overcome coaching deficiencies, and now all of a sudden he's the leader of men because he spoke up on a human issue. I'm not buying that, but I am glad he said something. I'm going to get off of Bill.
What's up, it's Baller. So I just want to talk about all this issue with Bill O'Brien and his comments.
Sorry, everybody, I had myself muted. I was saying that I did not do that, and I apologize to Real Talk because it wasn't deliberate. The phone line cut off on its own, and I don't pick and choose. And I was saying that this will be the last call. I was going to have Wink be the last call, but this will be the last call since that one cut off. I'm sorry about that. So your thoughts on Bill O'Brien and things he said today?
I feel like it was all scripted, honestly. I feel like he's trying to make people change their opinion on him after everything that went down during the off season. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's genuine. At first, I wanted to believe it was genuine, but I thought about it and I don't think it is.
What changed your opinion on what makes it genuine?
So you know how I was looking at what people were saying on the Discord and in other places, and he came to the realization that it was all fake. It wasn't true.
Okay. So now you've actually been out there on the ground, haven't you, if I'm not mistaken?
Wait, say that again?
So you've actually been out there on the ground with some of the protests and things?
Yeah, I saw that.
So what you saw out there? Do you think it would have been a bad scene for?
Can't seem fire Bill O'Brien, which I don't know why, because the purpose of the protest was for other things, but I still take that.
Yeah. You want to be heard. You got to find a way to be heard. But the environment out there, would you say they would have, aside from the people who said fire Bill O'Brien, do you think it would have been a bad environment for Bill O'Brien to be out there with his quarterback?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He would have been killed or something. Yeah.
That would be very unfortunate.
But the mask definitely will help out, not recognizing who he is.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's a serious chin. Once that imprint gets seen, we're going to see that chin from a mile away. That's a very definitive chin.
Yeah, and I couldn't even see the Sean Watson myself with 60,000 people. Imagine trying to look for Bill O'Brien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy. How do you feel about Deshaun being out there at the protest?
Yeah, the Sean was there. The protest was Peter Combayu and Jacob Morgan, like Asmo said, but I didn't see any of them.
Does that change the way or improve the way you feel about the players who showed up in support of something that you're out in support of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It shows that they care about what's going on and they try to make a difference in this world.
So,
but
I'm sorry.
Not Bill O'Brien for sure.
But not Bill O'Brien would change it. Okay. So. Yeah. You're looking at this, so does this actually make you look at him in a more negative light? If you feel like it's fake, you don't feel like it's genuine, you feel like it's kind of a PR stunt. So does that make you look at Bill O'Brien in more of a negative light, or the Texans organization in a more of a negative light?
I'll say it's a combination of both, but mainly Bill O'Brien because he knows he fucked up big time with the DeAndre Hopkins trade and later on with the Tim Jernigan signing, which I don't know why in the world it didn't happen because there was a report saying that he was clear from doctors. He didn't have any lingering injuries, and the Texans didn't even make an effort in bringing him to, make it physical.
Yes, that's weird. That is definitely questionable activity. Texans, again, moving in a strange way. We will see exactly what happens, but I'm curious about that too because they definitely need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm wondering what they got going on there.
They really do. Like, with the water they have right now in D-line, it's not enough. That's why Tim Jernigan was a nice addition to have.
So I'm sure we'll find out about it eventually. And again, we just kind of have to see what moves Grandmaster, Chessmaster Bill makes for this team. Because, you have to do something. You have to fill that void. So, I don't know. But,
sign a special teamer.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like Bill may have been kind of coerced by the organization to say something?
Yeah, I'm actually. It tells you a lot that even though the person who founded this organization, Bob McNair, passed away, is starting the resemblance of him. He didn't even speak a single word of what's going on.
Okay.
And they're leaving everything on Bill O'Brien.
Which was it's interesting. Like I say, my thoughts on Bill are, I think when it comes to issues like this, because he mentioned the inmates thing before, he spoke on, he said some other things before. So I kind of vacillate back and forth. Is it really genuine? Did he really? And like I said, I kind of got to rock with the fact that I don't think he had to say anything. The fact that he did is a plus in my opinion. I still don't care about GM/Coach Bill. He still fucking sucks. But the individual, the man Bill, I'll give him a few brownie points for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to change that narrative, but it's just so hard for me because I can't really see the good side of Bill O'Brien. Like, that's just my opinion. It's very hard.
Like I say, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know the deal with Bill. I think, like I said, I got to give him the effort for trying to clean it up. But again, I just still feel like he fell short on some points. And again, some people will be like, well, those guys, those sauce guys, they don't like anything Bill does anyway. And it's not about that. It's just about a few elements that were in the video. So we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah, and I don't like calling out people, but like Debbie the Texan is like, oh, that's my coach and stuff like that on Twitter.
No comments. I plead.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, anything else that's on your mind there, Mr. Footballer?
What you said?
I said, is there anything else that is on your mind there, Mr. Footballer?
Well, that's all I had. Just let Wink call in again because we want to hear what he says.
All right. We'll link up with Wink and we'll wrap it up after that. Well, I appreciate you calling in this evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you for taking my phone.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
All right, you have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it like this. We're gonna wrap it up after, and I know y'all some folks on the line, and y'all like, it's fucked up. I want to call and talk, and ain't nobody doing y'all bad, but it's about that time to wrap it up. So we're gonna let Wink finish his statement, and then we're gonna shut it down after that. All right, Wink, we got you. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Okay. Yeah. I can't hear you now. I wouldn't know that here first. All right. So you were going on. You said you were done with Bill O'Brien, and you were kind of moving on. I think to Drew Brees.
Yeah. I was getting ready to move on to Drew Brees because, like every day is Dre. I'm gonna probably just address just a second and just say, bro, every man can show you his intentions, and every man can ever prove he's genuine. Now, I know one thing doesn't have to do with the other, but what I will say, he hasn't had the luxury of getting the benefit of the doubt by the action that he's displayed. So forgive people if they're a bit skeptical. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, when it comes to Drew Brees, now I see the whole Michael Thomas situation, and how, Michael Jenkins and how everybody's coming in. You see Honey Badger and all of these guys, they putting their foot on his neck. And it's so unfortunate that, Drew Brees is a complete fucking narcissist. They asked this man a simple question about protesting, about violence and this shit, and this motherfucker makes everything about the issue outside of everything that needed to be addressed. And the fact that he was willing to condescend and push down those issues because they don't affect him on a personal level, it just goes to show you that this man doesn't give a fuck about anybody but his own and what affects him. So until, and it's like Trill was saying earlier, until it's a black man that he actually values, that he would have in his home, that he knows that he should see, his family and all that can come around, something that he feels should live, and if that person is ever taken away from him, then it'll hit home, but then by then it'll be way too late. Because people have been trying to open his eyes up. This man is 41 years old with children and a family, and somehow, some way, he's from Austin, Texas, and he doesn't understand what the fuck people are talking about and is willing to make it about every other issue outside of the lost life that we have in George Floyd. It's sad, but yet predictable. I mean, at the end of the day, for anybody who's like him, for anybody who has a psyche like him, nobody is surprised when those type of people think that way. He's entitled to think that way, and I'm glad he's constantly showed us who the hell he is. It's real easy to act as if, you didn't know these things. When he came out and he was so adamant about the protest and he was just so against it, when at the end of the day, he never even quit. He never even, talked about any topic even then. When you talk about police injustice, when you talk about this, all he could talk about is what a veteran told him to do when he originally sat down and he didn't want to stand for the anthem. Why should he stand up for a country that doesn't stand up for him? What many other, and it's not just black people. You have white people, you have everybody. But we're not making this into an everybody issue. This is about black life that's being constantly discarded. It's so easy because it's literally black men and women's death is like murder porn. You see how they can just show you this shit and they don't hide the fact that we can kill black people at the drop of a hat whenever the fuck we feel like it. And you know what we'll do? We'll go out of our way to say that, oh, it's no way he possibly could have died from the officer being on his neck because this motherfucker had hypertension. Because he had some other condition, but they don't do that to any other. They don't do that to any other people but our people. And it's one of those things where now they want to talk about looting, they want to talk about this. They want to talk about the symptoms, but they don't want to discuss the illness. And that's one of the things that really gets me, and I know you spoke of this earlier, and it really gets you that they're making it about everything else. And what the fuck, this is always going on, in American history. This is a part of America's history from the beginning of since the inception of this country. So how can anybody sit here and act as if this isn't the norm when things aren't going the right way? We learn from the best. We were taught this behavior. It's being exuded because talking, being peaceful, asking, ain't got us nowhere. It ain't got us nowhere. It ain't going to get us nowhere. And until actions are being taken and until justice is rendered correctly and these men suffer, and for anybody else, even after this situation, all of these guys, all these cops that get off and then, they get PayPals and then they get called heroes and people are giving them money and, they get fired, but then they can get rehired by another fucking police station when they should be deemed incompetent and should be thrown in prison with the rest of the animals that they supposedly try to discard. It's just one of those unfortunate situations, and I have no sympathy or empathy for Drew Brees whatsoever. This is a grown ass man with children who knows better, but he strictly said, "Man, Michael Thomas, I don't give a fuck about you, nigga. Just catch this ball and make me look good, nigga. Make me look good. Just catch the ball. I'm throwing you the ball, and I'm the reason you got $100 million. You wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for me." Drew Brees. He said it without saying it in so many words. You got to, of course, he's not going to come out and say, "Oh, this and that." That's not the way that this world works nowadays. It's overt. They do it to not hurt your feelings, but they really feel some kind of way in the dark that you'll never even know about. Not all, but some. If you don't have this way of thinking, this don't even affect you. If you're remotely offended about anything that I'm saying and you happen to be on the other side of the coin, then hey, go ahead and show us who you really are. Or if you disagree or you really feel some kind of way about what we're saying, add something to the conversation and give some information or what could be done. And stop saying, "Oh, we need to be together." All the cliche shit that they always say in all of the other news media. "Oh, we just need to. Well, people have to want to come to the table and have a conversation before you can even have change. How the hell can we have change when you're afraid of conversation? Conversation and discussing racism is worse than racism itself. That's the world we live in. You're racist by saying that something was racist and somehow you're a race baiter. Where does this term race bait and all of this shit even come from? How can it be reverse racism? Because if it's reverse racism, then you have to admit that racism is here. It's alive and well. Reverse racism. Irony.
A lot of these, like I said, because we're going to definitely continue some of this conversation around this in the dead of night. A lot of these terms are very intriguing terms, and it's funny because when a lot of these controversies occur, people start, coming up with new words, and they become a part of the verbiage, and and they stick with us. But race baiting is an interesting one because I remember learning about that one a while back, and I think a lot of people use it in the wrong context. I think there are people who do that. But speaking on something is not race baiting. But a lot of people sit there and speak on an issue. "Oh, you're trying to race bait. You're trying to do this." And there's nothing wrong with that. Or like I said, somebody like it's more of a dead concept. Like I said, I can start going in on this for another hour or two. But it is what it is. But
I don't understand. I don't understand how black unity and a black love and assurance, and they want us to pick ourselves up out of bootstrap until we actually tie our shoes and walk the right line. The moment that we band together and the moment that we say that we want our white brothers and sisters and our Hispanics and our Asians and everybody to go ahead and get together, hey, that shit is destroyed because they don't want that. They don't want all of us to be together. They want us to be pitted together because, hey, it's more than enough money they can make if we have hate in this world. Hate sells. It will always be a trending topic. And at the end of the day, it's in the hearts of men and women all over the world. We all can benefit from the hate, and we can never benefit from any good, and that's why this shit will always continue.
I definitely agree. Keep everything chaotic, keep everybody confused. Shit, it's easy to lose. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a lot going on with this situation. It's crazy. Drew Brees' situation, I think, is the most crazy. Like, I think when you get on Twitter and you see Drew Brees and Bill O'Brien trending, you'd have thought that it would have been for the opposite reasons. Like, you thought maybe it swapped places or something. But again, I just put up a little graphic game thing they did about Drew Brees. So I guess when you look at some of these things that he's done in the past, you wouldn't be surprised. So
no,
it is what it is. So maybe Drew, you could be. That's what I say too about when we always talk about athletes. I'm like, enjoy them for their craft, and this is where it kind of gets in that line. We're talking about athletes speaking out about these issues too. It's up to them. I'm not going to force and try to say somebody has to speak out. If they don't want to, they don't feel comfortable. Because again, athletes get an unnecessary amount of attention. Entertainers do like shit that motherfuckers could never imagine. There's stories that you probably don't even want to hear that happen to these famous people, and just, because I've heard stories from people who ain't that famous and have some crazy shit, so I can only imagine what superstar people do. And if they don't want to speak out on it, if they donate behind the scenes so that way they can fuel the cause or whatever they're doing, only they know. Like you said, it's up to them. That's in their heart. So trying to force people to get these non-genuine apologies out of them and all that, man, y'all stop doing that. That's unnecessary. But like I say, it's just going to be interesting to see how these teammates react to Drew after this, and if it's going to be an issue of any kind.
I even look at terms like white guilt. White guilt wouldn't even be a thing if white people weren't afraid of their own to take action. If saying that you like and you want to help black folks, in any kind of way with some shit, because you don't want to be on the side of right and wrong. And I'm not saying this for anybody specifically. I'm just speaking in a general sense, because a lot of these issues have not changed, and for several reasons. It's always either, well, you guys are killing each other, you guys are doing this. It's always the same old, it's always the same old shit for people, who are not like me and you, and they'll try to say everything that we're trying to do. But, when you are in the household, when you are trying to get a job, when you're not selling drugs, you still don't get out of this world with a clean slate. So you can be an honorable man, you can treat everybody good, but at the end of the day, if you get murdered today, they're gonna do something. They're gonna find, well, he was just in the county a couple of months ago. You think if you would have died at the hands of a cop, and they not gonna bring that up? Well, he was just in the fucking county, and they're gonna do everything to paint you like a fucking criminal.
Yeah, you can have thousands and thousands of hours of footage right here on the internet available. They're gonna go by, some on some paperwork or whatever, and things like that. And I mean, hey, it's the right. It is what it is. But I think it's up to people to try to come on. We know people are more dynamic than that. Like, you have to try to really get to know who the individual was. So that's why I give credit to some of these journalists, these people who actually do more deep diving into who some of these people are, so you get a feel for them. Now, if motherfuckers was a knucklehead, it was a fucking knucklehead, and if they got into some shit where, like it was a situation in Memphis a while back, that was on him, man. If you try to run them off, you gonna deal with it, and you pull the whole ass move to get the situation in the first place. That's another conversation. But it's like shit like this, again, unacceptable. There's no way it should have happened. Like, there's absolutely no way it should have fucking happened. And so it just something has to come to fruition after this, especially all the turmoil, all the extra lives that have been lost, and when making this a black life issue, other black lives have been lost during this issue, which is the crazy thing. Like I said, it gets real deep. But like I said, we'll probably talk more on that in the den this evening.
Yeah, man. We can't spill it all, right? Because we know you got things to do. But shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who called. I ain't get to hear everybody who called because shit, I was on fucking hold. So you can't hear and listen to the damn thing. To the show at the same damn time. So I'm be sure to go back, re-listen to what everybody had to say. Look at some of the comments, because everybody got something to say, and this is the conversation that needs to have. As white men, you should never feel scared to be able to voice your opinion on what you have, and these conversations need to be had. If if the conversations need to be had, don't run away from it, because running away from it only makes you look complicit in the behaviors that are being exhibited around the world, not just in the States, around the world. By not saying anything, or by not saying, oh, this shit ain't right, by not saying, oh, hey, stop that shit. Hey, leave that man alone. You don't even have to see, y'all don't even understand how simple something like that can suffice. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck, anything can help. We're not expecting you to donate money. We're not expecting you to fight our battles. But at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be done. And how does it not affect you, the fact that your kids have to see, well, what the hell, why the hell are all these black people dying, and you have to explain this shit to them? Do you come up with lies to say, hey, these guys are bad, and that, hey, they were committing the crime, and the cops are, and bigging the cops up to be something else? Or are you going to judge that individual on the basis and say that these fucking cops are incompetent at their job and they deserve to be in prison? You only have two narratives that you can sell. Which one are you willing to take? And that's my call.
No, really, I appreciate the call, man.
Yep.
No. I said I was gonna wrap it up after this, but this gentleman has been waiting for quite some time, so we'll take one last call. I hate to leave a man on the line like that. Who do we have calling in to the sauce this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, Mr. Josh? How you feeling about what Bill O'Brien said today?
I'm good. As far as what Bill O'Brien said, and I heard what everybody said really about it. I know their feelings, but I'm trying to be the one to celebrate, of course, the coach from the actual man himself. And of course, for Christian belief, I don't want to 100% judge what's in a man's heart completely. And I've been the one that was against the Hopkins trade every single move the man makes. Still want him gone, but the thing is, it's hard to say something's better than nothing in this case, but something is very important in this case, in this race part we're dealing in right now, because again, there's still a whole lot of coaches that haven't said anything. And I believe if Bill O'Brien would have had a better track record, this would be pretty much on mainstream media, because Bill O'Brien's topic, if it was said by anybody else, it would be one of the best topics ever written. But since it's Bill O'Brien in his history, which he put on himself, that's a bigger issue. But the reason why I had the conversation in Discord was, the thing was, I'm always an advocate of, if your house is pretty much messy or not in order, it's not in your best interest to comment on somebody else's. Does that make sense?
No, I get you, absolutely.
Yeah, so the thing is, with Michael Thomas for the Saints, they knew Drew Brees was like this for a while. It wasn't just, the person who died, which is George Floyd. George Floyd didn't have to do this. Like, it's just like there was more incidents than that. So, and they knew Drew Brees was like that. So the thing is, it's like, when you call out, I guess, the organization, well, Bill O'Brien, the organization, both for being pretty much racist, which he's spelled all the letters almost. You're opening up yourself to criticism, which is, if something happens to you or your team, your quarterback, then you have to answer for it. And what he did was he condemned Drew by multiple tweets, a tweet here, a tweet there, but it wasn't the extent of that he went in on Bill O'Brien and the Texans. Yeah, and that's what I was calling him out for. And then later on in the day, you see him going after Drew a little bit more, but again, it wasn't to that same extent. Because what that did was, the reason why that was so dangerous, because that's the reason why most players don't come here really, because narrative is Bill O'Brien's a racist GM. Texas is a racist organization. Right?
Yeah. Do you think that changed today? That the way players view Bill O'Brien?
No, like, the thing is, like, the only change that will tell is the actions that he do. Like, the words were great, like, but time will tell. Like, yeah, so this notion that, even I've seen some comments in the chat, was like, man, why didn't Bill O'Brien go to the protest? He would have go to the protest. He would have got booed. Like,
somebody booed this man.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't be out here like I know we hate Bill O'Brien for football, and I know like we're emotional because football's an emotional sport, but we gotta do a job of replacing him from the man. And if Bill O'Brien do some racist ass shit, then I'm off the bridge. It is what it is.
Okay.
But I can't condemn a man 100% for at least taking the right stuff verbally.
I can agree with that. You know, I'm not going to fault a man for doing the right actions, even if he's been doing the wrong thing or what I personally believe to be the wrong thing for a long time. I can't fault somebody for taking the right action. So, like I said, I still have my questions about it, but again, he didn't have to say anything. And the fact that he did, I'll give bounty points for that.
And the reason why I said that is because you know how people give an apology but don't admit guilt?
Yes.
He admitted guilt in some areas. Not all. Like, I'm not saying like he admitted guilt for everything, but he said, forget that I do a better job. He almost said everything except for I'm sorry, for instance. So when I seen that he showed guilt a little bit, I'm like, okay, he's slowly trying to, which, again, that's better than nothing. That's better than not saying shit from like Bill Belichick or anybody else. So.
Okay. I don't know, man. Like I say, it's I guess with the Texans and everything they got going, I mean, you can always second guess. You know, you always want to question the actions of somebody. Again, it would be perfect for PR. Again, if it's genuine, you know, I think whatever side you look at it at, I still think it's a win for him. So, you know,
yeah,
no matter what.
And about the funeral, like I think it's gonna go because NFL Network and ESPN already promoted that Bill O'Brien's going. So it would be almost career suicide if he just pulled a hokey doke and said I'm not going.
Yeah, it definitely would be a bad deal if he didn't go. So, you know. So, I mean, you know, we'll see what happens. Again, if he's a man of his word and he does show up, especially with all the drama currently surrounding Bill O'Brien, you know, it'll be very interesting.
Oh, yeah, man. Just want to close that up, man. That's my call.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Josh, man. You have a good evening, sir. Thank you for holding, man.
All right, man. Sure.
All right. Have a good one. All right. We're going to wrap it up on that one. Shout out to all you wonderful people. Hope you're doing well. So let's talk about a couple things real quick, right? Shout out to all you great people. If you want to support the channel, there's multiple ways that you can do it. You can always hit that super chat button. You can always hit the join, become a member if you want access to the Saw Sports badges, emojis, and have your name highlighted in green so you can stand out in the chat. May consider becoming a channel member. Just hit that join button. You can always go through Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/SawSports, and on Saw Sports TV, which we should be on tomorrow at streamlabs.com/SawSportsTV. And most of the other ways, all this in the description below. Make sure you're following on all the proper social media. Okay, Saw Sports HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Saw Sports on Facebook. You want to join the Facebook group. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. If you want to become a member of the Saw Sports Discord, two ways you can go about it. If you join the $5 tier or higher on Patreon, or if you join the $9.99 tier or higher on the Sauce membership. And the reason why there's difference is because you get different things, so there's a reason why. But shout out to all of you have, man. We definitely appreciate the support. Just shout out to the round table. Shout out to Wink, man. Shout out to Professor Trilla. Interesting musical listening session in the Discord, man. Make sure y'all are part of the Discord, man. Hey, that's the one thing. We primarily talk sports. We're mainly talking sports. I mean, it is what it is. And occasionally other issues may, slide up here and there. Or, sometimes they deviate a little bit off path. But the thing that I love the most about the Discord is actually, like we was talking about it earlier, is being able to put the voice to the name, and then it's funny because then when you go back into the chat, like on a regular stream, you read the fucking names and their voice. So shout out to all of you, man. Again, Y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I thank y'all for being a part of this community, being a part of this channel, being a part of, the sauce, being a fresh ingredient, man. Again, tell your friend about the sauce if they're a Texans fan. But we'll be in the den at 9. And I think we were having yesterday's conversation because I had a little emergency last night. We're going to be talking about government. We're going to be talking about the purpose of government. Like, do we really need it? Should we have less government? Do we need more government? Can humans function without it? Or can a society function without it? So we're going to kind of dive into your thoughts on government, with everything that's going. There's some people who are anarchists, so we'll talk briefly about that. But make sure you guys come to the den. See you there. 9 o'clock. Go to thedenshow.com or denshowlive.com at 9 o'clock, and it'll take you right to where you need to be. But I'm telling you the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Got some fucking sweat in my eye. Y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay saucy, Texans fans, or whatever fan you may be. And I'm out.
Perfect.